Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video about my swap away from ElvUI and maybe try to help anybody thinking about doing the same. I think around the beginning of Dragonflight there were rumblings of some players maybe making the swap off ElvUI thanks to Blizzard's UI update. I run a Mythic Raid guild, so maximizing FPS and also maintaining functional, clean information is a constant battle. I've tried this a couple of times in the past, but there's always something that kind of held me back from doing this. So now I think I've gotten my UI into a spot where it's just as functional, but still maintains a similar look. So in this video I just wanted to kind of go over some of the major components that allowed me to do that, and maybe help you out if you are also looking to do the same. This won't be a comprehensive list on every add-on that I have, just the major ones that made this swap possible for me, but if you are interested in knowing about any of the other add-ons or anything else you see in the UI, just let me know. I think this is where YouTubers and stuff would say make sure to like and subscribe, so go ahead and do that if you can, helps. And if you have any questions or anything, you can leave them in the comments down below, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. So I tried to put together some old footage that I had from just clips of me dying and things like that from my old UI that I had, so here's my old UI, just for comparison. And you can see if we back up to this mage one, I generally have everything in sort of set spots that I've had for quite like years at this point now. So, you know, my frame, my target frame, target of target, my party frames, and I also put my raid frames here just for, like, because I help run the guild, I'll make calls from time to time, so seeing everybody's raid frames right here just helps making calls on what should happen during raid. My bars down here, I like this sort of square design that ElvUI had, so I tried to keep that. Keep details over on the right, it's a little bit different now in the new setup. Minimap, and then an extra bars on the side. Here is some footage of me with the new UI. This is from our raid from today, actually, so just everything should be pretty up to date. But you can see party or player frame, target of target, raid frames look similar. This is a different add-on though. The bars look really similar, but this is a different add-on. Details, obviously I just have a different profile for this. Bars over on the side look a little bit different, but still different add-on. Minimap is base UI. So yeah, I'll quickly go over how to set this up if you're interested. You can kind of sort of keep the same look and feel as ElvUI had before, maybe save some frames. I'm not sure, it seemed to help me out, but I'll offer it up for you to decide. So before you do anything to your UI, you always want to make sure that you back up what you had before. So in order to do that, I usually just make a folder on my desktop, or you do it in Google Drive or whatever, and copy your interface and WTF folders into this folder. So since we're working on retail, we go into retail, interface, control click WTF copy, and you can just paste them into your new folder that you made. I'm not going to do it now, but make sure that those two folders are here. Once they're copied, you're good to go and they're backed up. Okay, so now that we're back in game, make sure that you just go into your add-ons and turn off your ElvUI. I think it's held at the bottom, I can't remember, but obviously make sure to turn that off so you're working on just the base UI instead. Once you do that, I believe ElvUI still interacts with the base UI a little bit, so make sure you just make a new profile. Obviously you can see I've tested a few. I had one for ElvUI that was just for rotating my minimap, so make a new base UI profile. And I will share this one in the description below if you want to just start with mine as a base and work from there. Once you're in a good spot and have a new profile set up, you're probably wondering why some of these bars are green and the sidebars are green. This is Bartender, so Old Faithful add-on from like probably the beginning of the game almost. I actually used this before I switched to ElvUI to start with, so I'm trying this out again. So if you're familiar with the add-on, go ahead, you can get that again. It provides basically the same functionality that ElvUI did. I like to have my bars set up in this 3x4 grid because that matches what's on my mouse. I use Razer Naga, but you're obviously welcome to set them up the exact same way you had them in ElvUI. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, I like this sort of square zoomed in on the icon view that ElvUI had. So in Bartender, there's a setting which is under, and unfortunately, I think you have to do this on each bar. But if you click Hide Border, it gives you a little bit more space to work with on here. So unfortunately, I couldn't find a good way to share profiles from Bartender. Maybe that's something that they could work on in the future, but I will pause the video here and just let you sort of copy these settings if you like the way that these ones look. And then once you have them all, one bar set up the way that you like, so this is my bar 1, you can just go ahead and copy the settings to all the different bars that you have set up. So I have bar 1, bar 6, bar 4, bar 2. These correspond to the action bars up here, and you just copy in the same settings on each of the bars. Sort of more tedious than ElvUI, but because you can just copy each bar to itself, but you only have to do this once and then you're good to go. The next part for replacement, I didn't actually use ElvUI's bags, but I know that some people do. Although most of the people that I know, I think, use some sort of different bag manager, but I'm going to mention it here anyway. I use Bagnon, so this is what it looks like. I use this even with ElvUI anyway, because it provides a little bit more functionality than ElvUI does regardless. In Bagnon, you have the option to see all your different characters' bags and their bank as well. I have the banks disabled currently, but I think there would be a bank button here as well, just because they're going through the update with warbands, so things are a little bit broken right now, but you can view your other characters' banks, your other characters' bags, and if you search for anything, you'll be able to see that in your other character's bags or bank as well. Here are the settings that I have for Bagnon. There's not much to change here, but you can sort of change the bag sort order, so things land a different spot. I don't generally like changing this stuff because it will change where new items land in your bags, but I'll leave this here so you can pause and take a look at this. And you can adjust where and when you want the bag to open and close. And the last major add-on, and this is like the big one that actually allowed me to finally make this swap, is Cell. I'm sure you've seen some other YouTubers and stuff making videos about it. Automatic Jack is the one I've been watching about his updates for this, so he and a few other players are thinking about or have already made the swap over to this add-on and will be using it in the War Within. I'll be using this in the War Within. Profiles are now shared on Wago, so I will provide some links in the description of the profile that I started with. I will share my current profile, but this add-on is basically exactly what I've been looking for in order to finally make the swap. It's actively being developed, it's newer, so there are some things that are still broken and they're working on, but they're very responsive in their Discord. So yeah, I'll just quickly go over some of the things that are in this add-on that I think make it a perfect replacement for ElvUI, or any other frame manager for that matter. But once you've installed Cell, here's where you actually import profiles. So if you went to a Wago page and tried to find either my profile that I linked, or I'll probably end up linking Jack's profile, I think he's providing that, you can come up to About, and then Import, and just paste in the string from the Wago link. Once that's done, you can sort of familiarize yourself with the different panels that they have up here. I'm not going to go into all of that in this video. I'm not an expert at this yet, but if anybody is looking for any information about Cell or wants to look at a Cell guide or something, maybe I can make something like that. The good thing about this is everything is sort of laid out in a way that makes sense. You can have different layouts depending on which kind of raid setup you're in. So if you saw earlier in the clips, my frames sort of were stretched to be smaller based on the because I was in a raid. Currently, this is what they would look like if I was in a party. They would stretch out this way. And one of the reasons I like this so much is because I do play like a ton of characters. I usually have many alts, so, and all from different roles. So let's say like I was ever playing healer or something, the frames can adjust for that. The main thing for me is just having something that shows indicators for dispels. So you can set your raid frames to show different colors based off of the spells. ElvUI's raid frames, which is what I used before, did that. I know other frame managers also do that, but it's just in a nice, concise setting here in Cell. So, like I said, I don't want to go into all the settings because I think this would be like an entire video on its own going through all the settings and whatnot, but if you do have any further questions on things like that, I'm happy to answer them in the comments below, or I can, if people were looking for anything further on how to get this set up properly, sell, or any of the other add-ons set up properly, feel free to let me know. Maybe I'll make a video or something about that as well in the future. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have questions, like I said, let me know. See you later.